some tea. Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm here today with my best friend, Heather Chadwell. You might remember her from multiple television shows, including Rock of Love, Charm School. There's too many to count. I have no idea. You were even on It's Almost Sunny in Philadelphia. There has been some drama going on. I don't want to say exactly the name of the person. No, really. I mean, this person likes to sue everybody. We're just going to call her Sue Conher.
That's kind of ironic, that last name.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what it is, but for the purposes of our broadcast today, we are talking about Sue Conher.
We're here to set the record straight. I've taken some time to withdraw, put privacy on my sites because of harassment, fake sites, and just to get away from the negativity and the toxic environment.
Excuse me, did you say harassment and fake sites?
Yes.
That's what I heard?
Yes.
Harassment and negativity and
slandering.
Toxic slander.
And contacting other people that this person's never met before that I did TV with 10 years ago. Just crazy things that are happening. And it was all because of my idea, my concept. That I came up with in 2018. I reached out to, and Sham and I had talked about this back in 2018 because it was the 10-year anniversary of the whole Rock of Love. That was 2007, and so
I remember that.
2017 would be 10 years. But
I remember you told me in 2018 you were going to do this with New York. I remember you said you were going to do something with New York.
Right.
The same company that did Flavor of Love shows did Rock of Love,
right.
And they were called 51 Minds.
Earlier on, around the 10-year anniversary, I had this idea. It'd be so great to get everybody back together, kind of reconnect with all the cast members from my shows, and then it'd be great to have New York reconnect with her cast members from her shows, and then the Of Love shows that she did prior to her shows. So I thought it would be great to actually collab with her and just connect with everybody from that era, that VH1 Celebrity era. So I had this idea, and I was running it by friends, and a producer that I used to work with, we'll call her Miss Producer. And so I was chatting with her about it, and she was like, well, I just did an interview, and, you and New York were my favorites. Yeah, so New York, we talked about it, she was on board, so you can look on my Instagram, there's a photo of us, and it says, would you watch it from New York? And I did a show together, and it was on, I think, January 20th, 2019. It's on my Instagram, she posted on her Instagram too. Okay, so after I spoke with New York, and she said she was on board, she wanted to do a project. So I was really excited, and I started messaging and texting some of the Rock of Love girls, and Mindy was one of them, and so I messaged her online. I love her. She's a good person. I think she was there for the right reasons. She thinks she got her feelings hurt in her story. I really wanted her to tell her story as well. So what date does that say right there?
That looked like January 20th, 2019.
Hey girlie, are you still in Florida? Putting together a little mini reunion with New York. Would love to catch up with you and film it. I'm sure your fans would love to see a day in the life as well. See a day in the life of you as well. Are you in? She's like, I am in Florida. You're one of the few people I would ever favorably respond to because it's you, of course. She's so sweet. So Mindy was in, okay? That shows kind of how far back, it goes. And so once she tells me she's on board, what date is this?
Oh, let's see here. That would be a January 20th, 2019.
This is from me.
Okay, that's it looks like, I can't read very good, but that looks like somebody named Sue.
The next person I contacted was the person that took over the podcast right now. What's that date say?
Oh, that looks like January 20th, 2019.
Same day of my post. Once I get the green light, I'm reaching out just to see who's on board. Hey girl, it's Heather. What are you up to these days? Feel like catching up on film? It's the 10-year anniversary of Rock of Love bust. So now her response is, haha, awesome. Hey, sexy mama. And this should have been my red flag right here. It says,
I see something there.
Oh, my Satan.
That looks like a red flag. Oh, my Satan.
Yeah. That sounds like a blast. Thank you so much for letting me know. I'd absolutely love to be a part of that. When is it? You and I should get together beforehand and catch up anyways. I miss you. I want to hear all about how you're doing. Thanks again for including me. She actually wanted to do her own show, and she showed me a sizzle, and it was maybe called A Decent Exposure or something, and she's on there, like, it's just her though. And it says right here, we talk about pop culture, sex, politics, and no politics was ever going to be on the show. I don't talk about politics. I don't really know much about it. I feel like it divides people, and so I never wanted on this project politics to be talked about, which is why they hadn't been thus far. So, but her project that she had in her mind and that she'd already done the sizzle for, it just didn't get picked up anywhere. You know, she's on there saying, I'm the most vindictive, manipulative bitch that you're ever gonna da-da-da-da-da, and I wanna expose everybody, and blah, 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 blah. And that's fine, do your own project. So that was her project. None of it had anything to do with the Rock of Love girls catching up with her. She didn't give a shit. She just wanted to do her own show, but didn't get picked up. So when this comes along, she's like, yeah, I wanna be a part of it. You know, and then she's like, what are you guys thinking? Or maybe you have your own ideas too, which that would be awesome too. You ladies are smart, funny, and creative. Do you have a production company behind this yet? Can't wait to exchange ideas. And then I say, okay, awesome, can't wait, gonna be fun, haven't seen you in forever. Can't wait to catch up. Let's definitely hang prior to bounce ideas for your episode. This is the initial, reason I reached out to her was to be on an episode, okay? And then she goes to text another one. Honestly, I think powerhouses like you, New York, me, etc. should be the new The View. Once I took the business side to then she proceeds to tell me all the personal things going on in her life, and I'm a really kind-hearted, caring person, and I felt bad for her. She's in this lawsuit where she's being framed, and that her father took her money, and that she's got to sue him, and this and that, and I felt terribly sorry for her, and I wanted to help her. Basically, I started going to Las Vegas. She said, just come to my house. I can do all the editing. After she tells me everything that's going on in her life, she then asked me if I can help her get her a job at a strip club in Las Vegas because her dad had taken her money. I tell her exactly what she needs. This is what you'll need to get started. You'll need to get your referral from the club. Then you'll need to go to...
So she wanted you to get her job stripping?
Yes, when she was on the show making fun of me for stripping.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
How ironic is that, right?
Wow. Okay. So basically, wanted you to get her job stripping, so you wanted out of the kindness of your heart to help her get on that dance pole.
Right, which was very difficult, might I add. There's just there's no, we're in our 40s. So for me to even be able to call, after almost 10 years of not being there, it's not even my element. I don't even go to bars. I don't drink. I don't stay up all night anymore. It's not my lifestyle anymore. So to get back into that I have triggers with that. So, but anyways, I was going to help. So I said, you're gonna need your sheriff's card, your business license, $300 you're gonna need to invest. And then I told her, I knew she didn't have any money, so I said I can help you out, and you're gonna need another $100 probably for an outfit. And she wanted a wig because she didn't want it to be seen, so I bought her a blonde wig. And and she's like, that would be amazing. I would be willing to pay you back plus interest.
Wow.
When she goes and she makes this video recently saying that they were helping me with my finances.
I had already known all this shit. I had known fucking all this. I'm acting like wow, but I really knew all this, okay? And when I saw the video she made where she was acting like a victim and she was like, woos, I just really, want positivity, and I really want everything to be like, no drama, and I'm beyond that place and all this stuff. Honey, her actions couldn't have been further away from that. And for her to act like she's some victim in any of this is ridiculous.
So then she's like, okay, so I loan her the money to get, I contact the guy that runs this club. I've known him forever, and bug him. to get this girl on, and then I give her the money to get her business license, see to be legal to work there. Thank you so much, girl, for the money.
Okay, well, let's, this one, I think y'all need to see this a little closer, okay?
That's what friends are for.
Thank you so much, girl, for the dollar signs. That means that you're giving somebody money and helping them.
At the bottom is the Secretary of State where you need to go to get your business license. So I took a screenshot and said, here you go. I gave her money and I said, here's where you go to get it. Of course, that's what friends are for. And I'm in no place to loan money. I'm, starting my business out here. It's fee after fee after fee after fee. I'm in no place I'm out here by myself. So, I'm in no place to be loaning people money. But I did because I'm just a good-hearted person like that. So here's her first day at the club. The bartender took this photo and she put like a little filter on it because it was in December for Christmas. Right there.
Oh my.
You can see the background is the
oh dear.
and that's straight vodka.
Wow.
Heineken Double Zero.
There's the photographic evidence here. There's one photograph of evidence here that she was one dancer in a strip club right here. Okay?
And so the first day of her shift was a complete messy nightmare.
Well.
I mean, I don't even know if I'm going to get into it because I may save that for part 2 if we need it because it's really embarrassing.
It was her. When Heather told me what she did her first night as a stripper, honey, I'm amazed that she didn't leave that club in handcuffs. Like,
right. Well, I had to save her on that too. They came to me like, "You got to get this girl."
What the fuck?
So we'll save that information for at a later date if it needs to come out. But here's the response after I took care of her, and I had to get her a job. Now I've got to save her job. Okay. Hey, girl. Thank you so much for taking care of me. I hope I didn't get you in trouble. The more I think about it, the more I think I may have been drugged. So now she's blaming somebody else. When I was there, I watched, it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So she goes on to then try and, put blame elsewhere.
So basically she was so train wrecked when Heather got her the job that she almost got Heather in trouble at a club that Heather has a very good reputation.
I hadn't been there in 7-8 years. Those people are still my friends. I've known them for 15 years. So
and you put your name on the line.
I did. I put my name on the line. She kept bugging me to text the owner, and
you just don't do that when a friend goes out of their way to get a job for you that you weren't gonna get, okay? And then you fuck up on that level, honey. And then you say that somebody put something in her. What she said?
Right. Well, she says she tried to blame it on somebody putting in her drink. No, she was driving in my car with a water bottle full of vodka. Mind you, I'm sober. Like, I couldn't imagine going and doing some drug that the person sitting next to me is like 3 years sober from. It's just so disrespectful. I just was blown away. So I says, no problem, girl. We've all been there. You drank a lot of straight vodka with nothing in your stomach. I said he grabbed drinks from the bar and brought them just a couple feet. I was keeping an eye on you because I was.
You weren't drugged.
You weren't drugged. You just drank too many shots of vodka. Those guys stayed a while. They asked, blah, 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 blah. I said, nothing will come good from drinking that straight vodka, especially before working any job. Because the first episode that we did at her house, she came out of her bedroom reeking of alcohol. She's back there doing shots. Again, I'm sober, and she's coming out reeking of vodka. And I'm just like...
As this is going, I just want you to know that I'm looking at everything Heather is saying is written on the message.
And this is just a screenshot. And I know people said, oh, it says 2. Yeah, so if you go up... Anybody that has an iPhone, if you go to text somebody in the top right and click it to text somebody, it says 2, because the phone thinks you're texting to a person. Or you can go and click search and...
2.
So yeah, when I pull up the text, it's...
2. You see that's 2.
Right. So I'm trying to make her not feel bad, I'm still trying to make her feel not shameful, because, whatever. And then she's like, okay, well, thanks for clarifying that, and thanks for keeping an eye on me. So now it's thanks for giving me money, thanks for giving me a job, I'm grateful, now I'm babysitting, thanks for keeping an eye on me. Yeah, you're right, I did have a tiny breakfast, I'm not used to daytime drink, that excuses. So then the next day, now that I've seen this behavior a couple times, I decided to have a talk with her the next day, and I said, we need to get to the core of what is causing you to drink heavily before a podcast or before going to, like, what is causing this? Like, if you need therapy or anything, I'll go with you. So, and her husband's in the background shaking his head, because when I'm having a conversation with him, he's shaking his head.
Poor guy. He's probably begging for help.
Yeah, he was just like, he told me, like, thank you so much for bringing so much value to her life, and like he was so nice and like grateful that I was helping her.
Who else is in her life besides her husband?
Nobody. I don't think he had mentioned
her lawyers. Probably.
He said we don't have any friends.
Probably they have lawyers.
But you know, he's got a band buddy that he hangs out with. I didn't see anybody that she hung out with. There's one girl at the dolphin habitat that she's like goes and bothers all the time because she's been trying to get a job there. Now I'm thinking maybe she has some type of a drinking problem or whatever, and I have that issue too. So that's in my wheelhouse. I do attend meetings at times, and so what I decided to do is I said, why don't we go to some meetings together? And you know, my dad had just died a year and a half ago. Her mom, it's been about 15 years, I think, but still, maybe it's grief or whatever it is. So I start researching places to try and help her. And here are some of the screenshots.
Oh, you sent her those?
Yeah, I sent her trauma-informed yoga. I invited her to come do trauma-informed yoga. New Year's free. It's free, a free place, so we wouldn't have to pay. So we could go, and this would be something we could do together. As I was there, I started noticing a lot of, late everywhere. She kept making me late everywhere, and it's just so disrespectful. And you can't run a business. It's not professional to have no time management skills at all. So I was noticing all of these things. Like, this is going to be, tough, but that's okay because for right now, it's okay because we're going to film at the house, right? So, we're supposed to be, hitting our deadline. We told everybody it's coming out on this certain day. And so she's like, I'll get the editing done, Hey girl, will you be upset if we miss the Friday deadline for our podcast? I'm so sorry. Because she told me, she said she bit off more than she could chew. I've been working day and night on this, and it's turning out great. It's just longer than I hoped.
This was back in January, and I'm assuming this was your first podcast.
Right.
Okay,
so this is before the first episode.
Podcast.
Yeah, because she said I can do the editing and blah, blah, blah. That's why I said, okay, I'll come to your house.
So they were basically, Heather and her were trying to come up with a production plan. Like, they were being producers. Like, they were trying to produce a show together, saying that she's going to edit it and she's going to do all these things.
Because Miss Producer was all on board.
So a real producer from back in the day when they were on Rock of Love and everything was saying that she was going to produce the show for them, but now they have to do it themselves.
Right, but when I told her I was going to do it with her, she says, I don't think that's a good idea. But I did it anyways. So, because I just wanted to get it going, and so will you be upset if we missed the deadline, So now she wants to lie to the fans. And she's like, well, I'm sorry, can we pick a day next week for the release? We can tell the fans I've had a coughing sickness, and if you want, which is technically not untrue. She had a little bit of a cough, but that has nothing to do with it. You don't lie to people. This is our first episode. This is over 1 year from the day that I text her. This is January 30th, 2020. Okay, this is over 1 year that she's had to prepare for this since I had messaged her and got done with the lawsuit. And after the lawsuit, she says, I need a month to chill. So I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. Now, 1 year later, and I said, I was worried this was going to happen. And because I even was like, because I was back in California at the office, because I have to run a business here. So I didn't want to miss the deadline. I don't like being late. I don't like missing deadlines. It's not professional. So I went ahead and just looked up an editor. Like, I just need to take things into my own hands. Like, I looked up an editor. He was able to do it and have it done to me so we could make the deadline. So I said, I told him, okay, I'll let you know when my partner, I should hear from her soon. There's I get up between 4 and 6 a.m. every day. I get stuff done. She doesn't get up till about 3. That's the thing. And then she needs an hour after that to get her brain going. So we're on completely different schedules. And I have most of my days done by the time she gets up. So I have to, when I'm at the office trying to do business, I can't really just message her because she's in bed. She just sleeps all day. And mind you, she hadn't even been, I got her this job and she embarrassed herself the first day, so she hadn't been back. So meanwhile, she still owes me money, right? And here I am about to spend another $300 to edit because she couldn't keep to the deadline. That was her word. So I said, I don't think it's good to keep saying deadlines and not making them. We look unreliable. Okay, so she says, I feel you. Let me try to see if I can knock it out today. I'm just trying to make it look perfect, baby. Maybe just getting it out there by the deadline is better. Yeah. Let me try again today. I'm almost there. Also, and then so she says, I really got to learn how to do this. So she told me she already knew how to do this. I really got to learn how to do this and sit and watch. Otherwise, I just bought a $3,000 computer for nothing. Yeah, no shit. So she ends up taking a title loan for 10 grand for her car, right? And she buys a $3,000 computer to do this editing that she doesn't really know how to do. She used it once for the first episode. And then another $2,500 she took and she sent papers to her dad to sue her dad. And mind you, she told me that she still owed the lawyer from all the felonies suit $25,000. So instead of when you get found not guilty, you would think you'd be like, thank you so much to this attorney. I still let me go do and work this club day in and day out and try to pay this woman who's just saved our lives. And but instead she takes a loan and she wastes thousands of dollars on a computer, and then she says right there, I just pretty much bought it for nothing. And then she goes and starts another lawsuit. And then they're already in another one. On top of that, I found out that there's like 3 other ones going on right now as well. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is poor money management, poor time management, like all kinds of lawsuits she's getting me. So now I'm like riddled with extra anxiety, and I'm just trying to be as patient and as compassionate as possible, right? So, okay. So we get the first episode out. She cuts out all kinds of stuff and a lot of stuff. Her telling me how Brett, did me wrong and all this and that. But she cut all that out. She doesn't want Brett to
Well, she didn't want herself to look bad.
Yeah.
So she basically left the stuff in there about whatever Heather said about Brett, which, by the way, Heather has always talked good about Brett. I've known Heather for 10 years. She's always appreciated the fact that he got her on the show, that he gave her the opportunity.
So to go on there and say, I hate him, it's a really tough, that's a strong word. To go on there, she hates this person, she hates that person.
Honestly, that's what a bully does when they're trying to gang up people all together to get on their side. Mm-hmm. Because you have nothing to stand on. You have you're not on the side of truth. Sorry. You're on the side of your manipulations. You're on the side of all of stealing the show that Heather came at you for to do. So now what you have to do is get all these people on your team. You know what I mean? You have to get all these people against Heather. You have to talk shit to this person, talk shit to that person, talk shit, whisper in everybody's ear to try to turn them on your side. And Heather, by the way, Heather this whole time has been chilling. She's been doing her realtor business. She's at the beach. We've been in touch, okay? She's not in this, world of, 10 years ago that you're in.
So I'm at the office in Orange County, and I'm frantically trying to get this edited so we can make the January 31st deadline. And so I told her that I'd found an editor. It'd be like $300, and she's like, is he not in Vegas? I need to sit with him because she's a control freak. And she needed to actually edit out things that she said on that first episode that she didn't want in there. We really need to lock in someone ASAP. We really need to stay on the 31st deadline, is what I said. So we got episode 1 done, and it was okay. I wasn't really happy with it, but whatever. It just got out there. We finally launched. So then we come around to episode 2. And in the meantime, I'm talking with Miss Producer. And I let her know, the first episode's out, check it out. Would you maybe want to invest with this partner? And so she says, well, I'll be in Vegas on this date. So I said, great. So I realized, the date rolls around. Miss Producer's there with a friend of hers. And I says, well, what about, would you have dinner with me tonight and we can talk about the project? She's like, sure. So it rolls around for dinner time and she's not ready. And nope, doesn't even show up. So I go out and have dinner with Miss Producer and her friend. And text like, hey, would ask her if it's okay if she minds if I don't show up. And she's like, yeah, I mind. Like, I just got up and got ready and came out. Who just, So that was an issue, So I'm going out and I'm doing, meeting with the investors. I'm going out and I'm, supporting other entertainers around the strip, Lunel and RuPaul's Drag Race and these things. She was invited to everything, I just think it's important to support your fellow entertainers and guys and girls and black and white and gay and straight. And you can't just expect people to watch your stuff and give you everything and you have to go and buy. She should know this from being an entertainer. Like you got to go and support other people and their shows. And there's tons of talent in Las Vegas. So, you can look on my Instagram and see all the times I went out. Excuse me. You can see all the times I've went out in the last 4 months, and she's not with me because she just never showed up. So I'm doing the networking and the supporting of our fellow entertainers on my own. One of my past castmates, we've never got along. She bashed me and stripper shamed me and age shamed me and shamed just every single thing you can think of, most of the cast members on our series. So, we don't really kick it. But I don't wish her any ill will or anything bad to happen to her or whatever. So, but I do have loyalty to Miss Producer, who actually really dislikes the girl for her own reasons. So when we go into episode 2, I slip and say that this girl, slept with the producer to get her own show, which was told to me by the producer's wife. But after that, I was like, I felt uneasy about it because it was just it was the truth, but it was still a low dig. So I got a hold of Miss Producer and said, I slipped and said about sleeping with the producer and that, I've heard it from his wife, should I take it out? She says, no, leave it in. Leave it in. So I'm thinking, okay, well, she's going to be the investor. I'm going to listen to her. I'm listening to whatever she's saying. She's the producer anyways. I'm not a production. So in the meantime, we get a message from this girl. Tell her to stop talking about me. I have 3 lawyers in my family, and they will file papers against her. I don't need Heather talking shit about me, da-da-da-da-da. Or tell her to stop talking about me and tell Heather to stop talking about me or they're going to have serious problems. So this girl threatened us via Instagram. And then in the meantime, instead of coming to me and telling me, she is contacting this girl and this girl's friends behind my back.
So this girl in question, it sounds like she's also has a lot of lawyers and likes to sue people. So we're just not going to say her name, but just know that from the whole franchise, she was like the barracuda shark that just started all these problems, and she would just go on the TV and be like, like that's all she could really do. Nothing's changed, and now she's still, the same person, but basically causing problems between Heather and when they are trying to do their own program. And she's basically suddenly, by the way, out of nowhere, this person starts doing her own podcast with someone else out of nowhere and has been hibernating for 10 fucking years. And then out of nowhere, when and Heather start doing the podcast, she decides that she gets a wild hair up in her ass that suddenly after 10 years of hibernation, she's going to do a podcast. So
I asked Miss Producer, I said, do you think she will try to sue me for slander? And she's like, she can't, I know the truth, fuck her. And so in the meantime, though, I didn't sit real well with me. I just wanted to take the bit out and just re-upload it. So I messaged the studio and I said, good morning, do you have time to chat today? There's a jealous ex-castmate who doesn't like hearing the truth about her and is most likely sending a cease and desist. We will need to cut out a small part on episode 2. Yikes, sure, give me a call. Level 9 Studios. So I took the initiative to let's take it out because, let's just take it out and then we'll just re-upload it. Okay, let's just do it like that. She did not want to do that. So in the meantime, she's going and playing both sides. And then she texts me and says, can I ask you a favor? If you're okay with it, would you please mind asking Scott not to re-edit or cut out parts of episode 2? I think we should just leave it alone and move on. I'm only suggesting this because I don't want to waste our money. Well, it's my money. She didn't invest anything the whole time I was there. There was no money on her part being invested. I was paying for everything. I think we should just leave it in alone, move on. I'm only suggesting this because I don't want to waste our money on paying him to re-edit. I also don't want to take this episode down and lose all our views. So that's all she cares about is the views. So she doesn't care about this person or anything. She cares about the views. And now she's saying, I don't want to waste our money on paying to re-edit. I also don't want to take down this episode and lose all our views. Maybe let's just leave it alone and move on like nothing happened. So that's what we did, And I'm sitting here saying, she will be sending a cease and desist. We will have to take it down anyways. My thoughts to let the viewers know in the next episode, we, had to take it down because of that. She did not want to do that. So we kept it up, and then the light switched, and then she went back to talking shit. We had mentioned how this girl had got a bunch of work done. She got some new boobs and her stomach and face and new teeth and stuff. Looks great, perfect, whatever. So I mentioned she got new teeth, and she says, tell her to give them back to the poor horse she stole them from. So we're just, this is her friend that she's talking about. And forget episode 2. I just don't want to pay more studio fees only to talk about a girl who doesn't matter. I have your back. I'm trying to keep negativity out of your life. No, you're not. The whole, it's all negativity. And so I said, I'm done talking about her. I think that's a great idea. She doesn't matter. She doesn't deserve airtime on our show. She's nothing. Okay, and this is just me telling her you threw me under the bus, I was calling her out on it, but then she did the light switch and she started bashing Megan again, and then she also told, you changed, great.
I had to put my thinking cap on. There's so much going on here that I just had to put my thinking cap on. I already know all this stuff that Heather is telling you guys.
But I have to tell you guys, because I'm just,
the
truth is not out there because everything, she just keeps lying and lying and lying, and I have to tell the true story about this, you guys. It just was really awful to have to deal with this person this whole time.
And I knew also about how she was going behind Heather's back and trying to turn everybody against Heather.
But she's doing that now.
It's the kind of, and also like how you helped her. You got her a job at a strip club. You basically had her back when she had nothing going on.
She attaches me to this enormous lawsuit as a character witness. I mean, I'm just pulled into all of this. It's burden after burden after burden after burden.
I mean, how many lawsuits do you have? How many lawsuits can a person have?
She's like, I'll play dumb and act like we are not in control of being posted or take it down. I'll say I'm not in charge of the YouTube channel when she started it, and she is, because she locked me out of it, clearly. But I will tell her we won't mention her name again. So she basically contacted this girl and lied to her, said I'm not in control, she played dumb. So more lies. And then I basically said, I'm blocking everybody until this all clears. She's like, I'm okay with the blocking, no problem. And I just sent her a quick email. I told her that we talked, we'll never mention her again,
So she's playing two sides.
Yes.
What's happening here is that She's being a two-face. She's trying to play cool with other people when really she's pitting two people against each other. Is really what she's doing.
Yeah, so mine was like, to let the viewers know the next episode we had to cut out the truth due to threats, and we'll never talk about her again. We don't have many views on that one right now, so we're still new. She's like, okay, that sounds good. So she was cool with that at first. Well, then she changed her mind, and then she showed me. She took a screenshot of the episode 1 and how it didn't have very many views because she originally uploaded it on her own YouTube channel. So anyways, her whole thing was she didn't want to lose views and comments. So she kept that information out about her so great friend and like supposed to be the new co-host or whatever. So yeah, that's the truth about that scenario. Look, our episode 1 didn't recover by being reposted. 563 views looks bad. I said the number is rising on it from your site because it keeps being recommended to people from over there. I think it's close to 7,000. I'm telling her on your site there's 7,000. It's fine. Oh yeah, this is when she got in a fight with her husband.
God, how many fights did she get into? That poor man. I feel like she's holding him hostage.
So on this one, thank you so much. So I basically, after I get her a job, she ruins the first day, and I have to help her save the job, and then she just doesn't go. So owing me money, I'm going back and forth to California. Like I need that 500 or however much it was close to $500 back. Like I took, money from other bills that I have to help you, and now I'm getting paid, interest, late fees, whatever. So I'm getting agitated with that because now it's like you have a job to go to and you're still taking advantage of me. You're still making dad pay your rent, all your bills. You're still, just being lazy and not doing anything. And that's just not how I operate. So basically, after episode 1, she goes and hires a studio because she realizes that she can't do the editing that she said she could. However, she doesn't have money to pay the studio. So we start filming and I have to pay him because she just won't work and contribute. So now I'm also stuck, yet another payment, another bill, because of the whole thing with the girl who was going to sue. Miss Producer said, no way. I don't trust her. She just called me saying, see you this week, and she didn't mention anything about you guys getting into an argument. She didn't mention anything about that girl or this, and nothing. And she goes, I'm not going to do this. And she took off, and I've not talked to her since. She went as far away as possible as she could in this because she knew, she's like, you've got to get something in writing with her. You've got to get something in writing with her. And everybody around me kept saying that. I even tried to get
We
her.
all said that. I said it. I said, Heather, you do not want to go into business with somebody who has a character like this.
I tried to get her to go to my attorney in Las Vegas. We've got to incorporate this. We need stuff into writing. And she would not. She didn't want to do anything that's like by the books. She doesn't want to, she's like doesn't follow rules, doesn't want to do anything by the books. And I need to follow the rules. I want to be on time, places. I want to respect other people. So after episode 2, she didn't go meet the investor at the dinner. Miss Producer Investor blew her off, no show. And so Miss Producer backs out. So now I'm stuck with the studio fees. So we're filming and I keep getting stuck. And each time, man, I'm driving too, and it's late everywhere. It's $150 an hour. And she's not coming with money, and she's not even coming on time. So this started to really bother me as well. So after all of this, I'm already like, I even told her, I don't know if I can even go in business with somebody like this. I told her after the second episode, I have to rethink all of this because I don't feel like you have my back. This is all a big burden towards me. I'm dealing with extra anxiety and stress. And in the meantime, every few days, I'm woken up in the middle of the night with these knockdown, drag out fights, just severe verbal abuse, physical abuse. I'm hearing her husband say, stop putting your hands on me. Stop putting your hands on me. Stop. And she's verbally abusing him. You're just liking photos online and I see you adding porn stars online. There's fucking strippers and porn stars and da-da-da-da-da. He's just like, I'm not happy here. I don't want to be married to you anymore. I haven't been happy in over 3 years. I'm miserable. I want to live back in California. I want to. It was so terribly sad to hear this guy pleading with her, and she's just like, you're a fucking baby. He was like, I don't know how long my dad's going to continue to pay our bills every month. I don't know how long he's going to continue this lease. And she's like, well, then go get a fucking shitty job like I had a shitty job. So first she would go from bullying him, like, well, me and Heather, we're just gonna go on tour then because he wants to go and do something with his band. She's like, you had 22 years to go and do something and you couldn't do it. So, then he was just like, being emotional and like telling him how he felt. And she was like, you're a fucking baby. You're just a fucking baby. And then she would go on these screaming rampages and go on and on. One night I counted, it was like 20 sometimes this guy said stop. And I think he got to the point where he wanted me to hear because he needs help. And one night he texted me, and I have the text, I even sent it to her before I posted it online, which it is completely, we're gonna do a screenshot so you can see. With an iPhone, there's a timestamp. You can't edit it. You can't Photoshop it. So we'll show you the exact text and the timestamp. He did that because he needed help. And I was up and awake when this was happening one night. And he's like, leave. I'm calling the police if you don't leave. Get in your car and leave. And she wouldn't leave. She's running around the house, screaming at him. And I was just like shaking in my room. Like these fights I would be so riddled with anxiety. It was just terrible to sit and listen to all of this abuse. It was really, really disturbing. And so I would just try to stick to myself, and pull it together and compose myself when it's time to film, because I really had things that I wanted to get out there. I really wanted to talk about sobriety to help people that are also alcoholics or struggling with, they're addicts or whatnot. So with this project, I really wanted to connect with people that need help with alcoholism, also reconnect with past cast members, also people that need help with real estate. There are multiple reasons that I wanted to continue and use this platform. I was having to deal with her on the side, but I still was able to have this platform because I'm paying for it. So now we're up to pretty much episode 6, and she hasn't paid for anything. Nothing. Here it is. Thank you so much for paying. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it, And this is just me telling her, please, can we please be on time? We cannot afford any extra time tacked on. Literally, I'd be waiting in the driveway, texting her, are you coming? Are you coming? And I'd pull out more. Are you coming 20 minutes later? Then I'm in the middle of the street, 30 minutes later. I mean, just wait, makes everybody wait. I've never seen anything like it. It's just so disrespectful. So I'm trying to tell her, so tomorrow, let's get our questions. Clothes picked out, everything ready in a bag. We just need to get ready early in the day, and then we can just get in the car on Thursday. So now I'm having to mother her and teach her how to pack a bag, prepare, get everything situated the day prior so you don't have to rush around with stuff falling out of your arms. You've had a week to know that we're filming. I've been in California, I've driven back multiple times, and I can, at this point I'm like, listen, I cannot handle any of this anymore. And at this point I was texting my friend, I don't think I can do past episode 6. I think I need to reevaluate this whole project with her come episode 6, because I'm not going to keep paying for this. All she's, doing is uploading. When the video's done, she uploads it to a couple things, and sometimes she'll post stuff. But all of the stories, the behind the scenes, the highlights, all of that stuff, I was doing that. She doesn't know how to do any of that. So everything was affecting me at this point, and I was telling her this. So she says, okay, I'm going to pay for the next one, the next few, whatever. So she goes to work at the club the next couple of nights. She made a few $100s, and she says, okay. She texts the studio guy, says, I have the money for the upcoming episodes. So we go ahead and film episodes 7 to 10 in her home, because they're shutting everything down. By this time, the coronavirus is coming around. They're shutting everything down. And so she came up to me and she says, hey, I want to keep my money. And I'm like, she's like, let's have the Patreon account pay for the studio. And I'm like, well, with Patreon, it needs to pay me back my investment. So now we have 7 to 10 that has not been paid for, okay? So I go back to California and we air the episodes. And now she's just like, I need a couple days off from the podcast for this reason, and I need da da da. And I'm like, from what? Like, we're not even filming anything, you know? And so I'm sitting here thinking, you know, she's never gonna come out here to film. I'm always gonna have to go there. I always have to pay. So we get into, she goes to upload one of the episodes and she says, hey, could you upload it do you mind doing the social media at like 8 a.m.? What do you mean? Like when you're uploading it to YouTube, upload it to everything. Well, at 8 a.m. it's a better time to upload. You know, there's always an excuse. 8 a.m. is a better time to upload. What do you mean? Where? The whole world, most places have Instagram. So to say, you know, it's better to upload at 8 a.m. on Instagram that's just ridiculous. So that was like the last straw for me. I'm like, did you really just text me at 2 a.m. and say, hey, you know, I uploaded to this, but can you do this after I've done all of this? So we're at episode 10 and she's spent not $1, nothing on any of the production. Okay. Basically, when I told her, when she wanted me to upload this video at 8 a.m., it just set me off. I said, you know what? Like, I don't know how much longer I can do this with you. I really don't. And that's all I said. And in the meantime, she's trying to steal, so I paid for a logo. I own talkoflovepodcast.com, don't threaten me with a good time.com, alistceleb.com. So I'm doing all of the proper things that you do to start a business and a brand. Once I told her, I don't know how much longer I can do this with you. This was March 30th. So within a couple days, the Patreon payment would have been around, I don't know, $500 and some. And I was going to take that payment, pay myself for my investment, and then I was going to pay the studio. Then the next payment will go to the studio, you know, because that's who owned 7 through 10. He didn't own anything. So, and I also tell her, this is not a partnership. It's never been a partnership. It's been like 90-10, 95-5. And she's like, huh? It's not a partnership? I'm not sure how long I want to continue this with you. She says, how dare you? I've been busting my ass over here. The only reason I asked you to post is because people aren't on Instagram at 2 a.m. Really? Yes, they are. I have been up all night working on this podcast. You owe me an apology. After everything I've done and paid for, I owe her an apology. I swear you're like the old Heather, quick to make snap judgments about people without getting all the facts. What do you mean? I've lived and watched all the facts. I'm living it. Quick to be as hurtful and mean as possible. All I said was, I don't know how much longer I can do this with you. You have no idea what I've been doing. Your motto is hurt first, ask questions later. Hurt first? Hurt first? I've been helping this girl for a year. And then she says, you're a child. You used me for a place to stay for 3 months. No, it wasn't full 3 months. You can go down my Instagram. You can see when I'm back and forth in California. 1 month, I think I drove back and forth 3 times, which is $130 in gas every time, you know. So this was the last straw for me. This was it. That's it. That's all. And I said, I am not your husband. You will not boss me around. You're the biggest fraud ever and the laziest person I've ever met. And I even put the photo of her husband texting me, and I put her, get help. You have not changed. How dare you even have the audacity to say I have 0 changes in my life? Look at your life. It's because of you. You're trying to make people think you've changed, but you are worse now than ever. You have a husband, 1 friend, and a father-in-law, which you take advantage of all of us. You are still a 5-year-old girl who can't grow the fuck up and be a damn adult. Too busy trying to police and control people when you can't even control yourself. Pathetic. You make excuses all day, every day to everyone. Sorry I'm late. Sorry I was MIA. Sorry I didn't respond. Nothing but excuses, just only affecting the only few people that you have in your life. You can't do anything but fight people and sue people. Get a fucking job. Oh wait, I got you one and you rarely went, even owing me money, watching me break my back to get studio money while you slept, which the studio was your idea and you have not invested $1. You are the user. You constantly owed me money and you didn't give a fuck how it affected my life. I'm not a lending tree. I took money from all my bills, which I have late fees for of that and plus interest. You do not give a fuck. I said, you upload videos and send some messages, big fucking deal. How much money have you invested? What amount do you pay in bills a month? That's what I thought. You don't. Well, I do, and I don't appreciate my time and my money I work hard for used for someone who doesn't give a fuck about me. I came to you calmly on multiple occasions. I've even cried to you, and you still take advantage. I'm fucking sick of it. I don't think you care about anybody but yourself. And I never needed to stay in your father-in-law's house. Not yours. You don't work or pay bills. You can't even get your own place. You're a bum. You use people. The vibe near you always verbally and physically abusing your husband every week is vile. I was always miserable staying in the same house with you, and the fact that you went on the podcast a few days after you verbally and physically abused him to talk about domestic violence. She even put an 800 number on. A few days prior, she was doing the same thing. So I said, and the fact that you went on the podcast a few days after verbally and physically abusing him is just insane. I have no respect for the way you live your life and treat people and then lie on camera. At that time, she changed all the passwords, stole the entire project, and on Patreon, because she doesn't have a bank account, and I was handling the finances, when she kept saying thanks for the money and this and that. So I was handling the finances, and Patreon, you need a social security number, my corporate bank account. So she stole those. So that's criminal right there. I tried to talk to her a couple times prior. She kept hanging up on me. So now she's not answering at all. She's not answering because she's already stole it. And so I tell her I'm calling TMZ, and we're calling the police. I'm calling her landlord because she says we lie to all our landlords. We don't tell them that we have dogs, and they've got like 3 big Great Danes and a small dog. So they lie about their dogs. And she was running a dog sitting business in a home she doesn't own under the table, and that she doesn't claim the dogs. I said, take down any and all photos and videos of me on all Talk of Love forums and your forums, along with my name. You do not have permission to use my photos, videos, or likeness. And everything is still up. Therefore, I've just had to contact legal, and they're just going to have to handle it because...
I think we got it, whatever. You did all your stuff. Do you have anything else to say there?
I know, it's so draining.
It's draining.
It's very
when you're
draining.
dealing with like fucking toxic people, it's just all this negativity and like
I know.
I feel
tried
bad.
to pull back and like put, blocks on everything.
I
just
feel
pull
bad
back.
that you're so stressed over this.
Well, no,
but
say
toxic.
that.
Well, I just feel bad that it's like, look, all these messages, all these papers, all this. It's like
ridiculous that I have to go to this extreme to prove that I'm a good person.
Let me tell you something. I don't even need
love the
I
Lord.
personally don't even need to see these text messages. All I need to do is listen in her own words. When I listened to Talk of Love on the very first podcast, in her own words, is saying that she went on the show to basically manipulate and play a character. She didn't go on there to find love and really what the show was for. Okay, she went on there to basically trick everybody into getting television time. So you went on there because you were really in love, right?
Yeah, I went on there to have fun, and if a love connection happened, that'd be great. I'm a hopeless romantic, so.
Well, I remember when you came out of there is when we met, and you were really brokenhearted.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Well,
I remember.
and here's the thing, a lot of these shows, they list a lot of things that's happened in my life that's just caused trauma in my soul. And, I'm not playing the victim. I know somebody says, oh, she always plays the victim. But sometimes when you're victimized, it's 'cause you're a victim. But
Well, we know in this situation now who's playing the victim.
Yeah.
And it's not Heather. In fact, you didn't hear anything from Heather. He was so quick to put that video up. And when I saw that video, my blood started boiling. Because I'm very, very loyal to my friends. And when someone comes for my friends like that, especially because I was around the whole time to know, I knew exactly what was going on the whole time. It wasn't enough that she just stole the idea, stole the concept. She had to go behind Heather's back to all the other castmates to try to make them team up against Heather, just like she used to do on the show. That's the same shit
Bullying.
that she did on the show. She's a bully. Okay, so she had to go to this castmate, that castmate, and people that Heather was not cool with, that she knew that Heather wasn't cool with, and she went behind Heather's back to basically get in their ear and turn them against Heather because that's how she operates, okay? And as for the other person who started jumping in there, okay, this person hadn't done shit, was hibernating for 10 years, and then suddenly starts doing a podcast after she hears that and Heather are doing a podcast, and then is going to this person and acting like she's talking shit about this person to Heather, meanwhile texting this person the whole time to be a guest on Talk of Love. Okay, that is two-faced, shady behavior. You don't do that.
A walking contradiction, a complete
Listen,
hypocrite.
one thing I'll tell you about my friend Heather is you know exactly where you stand with her,
Yes.
because she will tell you to your face how she feels about you.
And you heard exactly what I told her. I told her all of that.
And in that last text message that I saw, she came at you
telling
and she
me,
goes,
like,
you
I use
same
people."
old Heather, you stab as hard as you can. That video that you did where you acted like a victim, that was stabbing as hard as you can. Only a sociopath does something and then blames it on the other person. And that's exactly what she did in that text message.
Disgusting.
Sorry.
I just want nothing to do with this person ever again. I don't want to be in the same room. The vibe is so toxic, it's disgusting. And I don't want any association. I don't want photos with her. I don't want videos with her. I want it all down. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but she thinks she's above the law even in all these lawsuits. I don't get it, but.
Well, you know, really, honestly, I as a person, I feel bad for you. If you have to go home and you have to be that person, okay? You have to look at that person in the mirror.
Yeah.
You have to know about all those people that you hurt, all those people that you're suing. You know that they don't sleep at night, honey. Let me tell you something. Someone came at me like that, okay? I had a crazy person come at me like that over some photos we took. We did a photo shoot. They got published. 5 years later, because I got on a television show and this person was supposed to be on it, and for whatever reason they didn't get on it, this freak tried to mess up my life over pictures from 5 years ago that were published, did all this stuff to try to take him down with lawyer and blah, blah, blah. It stressed me the fuck out. I lost sleep over it. When you do that to people, it is so wrong.
That's the only thing she can do. And so she loves that. And that sickens me because I like to help people. I want to be helpful and loving and caring and kind. And, even her husband was like, thank you so much. He was so nice.
That
and
poor
grateful.
man.
Oh my God.
That poor
guy.
man. He is being held hostage.
Yeah.
That is a hostage
It is.
situation. Ashton is a hostage. He looks terrified. He looks scared. Run, I would say. If I was
Yeah.
him, run, honey. I saw Tiger King. I saw what Carol Baskin did to her husband, girl. You don't know what he could do. They both have the same crazy look in their eye. Okay? And honestly, honey, I'll say this. This is the last thing I'm going to say about this, just to wrap everything up. You guys have to know that you were lied to, okay? Heather's fan base and the fan base of Rock of Love and Charm School and everything, those are big shows, okay? I know a lot of people watch it. A lot of people were so happy to see you guys, what you're doing 10 years later. Everybody was stoked, on board. Well, this is what you need to know. Some people have changed and moved on from 10 years ago. Heather doesn't drink anymore. Heather has a career as a realtor. Heather's done all these things. And then some people are suing people negative, holding boyfriends hostage, you know what I mean? Causing all kind of drama, stealing businesses, stealing identities, okay? And then talking shit with all kind of old cast members to try to make a team against somebody
Who helped her.
who helped her. Who tried to get her a job, who tried to help her, who tried to do all these things. So, I think y'all need to go and look at the receipts, look at the facts, and figure this out. And know exactly who is being real and who is standing there and acting like an innocent victim when they are nothing of the sort.